They call it a manufacturing miracle, a synchronized triumph. It's not. It's a $13,000 magic trick. 500 hours. That is the lifespan of the hype. 1/20th of the industry standard. Gross margin. Effectively zero. Unitree isn't selling tools. They are burning hardware to buy a valuation. The hardware is disposable. The math is brutal. Welcome to Volt China. Today, we strip down the G1. We find the American silicon hiding inside the Chinese body. The visuals were undeniably seductive. On February 16th, 2026, during the Spring Festival Gala, the most watched television event on the planet, a phalanx of Unitree robots executed a synchronized backflip. The crowd roared. The internet melted down. Reuters and the Associated Press immediately ran headlines declaring a new era of Chinese manufacturing dominance. They called it a triumph of cultural fusion and technological ambition. But if you look away from the stage lights and stare directly at the engineering logs, a very different, much colder reality stares back. Thermodynamics, unfortunately, does not care about viral marketing. While the media celebrated a dance routine, the forensic data tells a story of a machine that is statistically likely to fail after just 500 hours of operation. We are looking at a product where the math of the bill of materials barely reconciles with the sticker price. What the world saw was a triumph of choreography. What I see is a desperate, high-stakes roadshow for an IPO that needs to happen before the investors realize the hardware is bleeding cash. Today, we are not talking about dancing robots. We are stripping down the Unitree G1 and the H2 to their raw components to understand the brutal economics of the humanoid robot war. Let's begin with the narrative currently circulating on Wall Street and in the Western press. The consensus is simple. China has done it again. Just as they dominated the EV battery supply chain with CATL and BYD, they are now commoditizing the humanoid form factor. The headlines from TechNode and the Associated Press focus on the global firsts, the standing long jumps, the continuous table vaulting parkour, and the 3-meter aerial flips. The narrative frame is speed and scale. The argument goes that Unitree has successfully vertically integrated the supply chain, achieving 90% localization, and is now ready to flood the global market with high-performance robots at a price point that Western competitors like Tesla cannot touch. They point to the sales data. 5,500 units shipped in 2025, a massive jump from the previous year. To the casual observer, this looks like the classic disruptive innovation curve. Low cost, high volume, rapid iteration. But this consensus makes a fatal error. It confuses a technology demonstration with a commercial product. It assumes that because a robot can flip on a stage for 3 minutes, it can work in a factory for 3 years. And that assumption is where the money gets lost. To understand how Unitree is actually playing this game, we have to look at the unit economics, specifically of the G1 model. The base price is marketed aggressively at 99,000 RMB, or roughly $13,700 US. The media calls this disruptive. I call it selling at cost. Our analysis of the bill of materials indicates that the hardware cost alone sits right around 10,000 US. When you factor in assembly, logistics, and R&D amortization. Their gross margin on the hardware is effectively zero. How do they do this? They aren't using magic. They are using supply chain brutality. They have deeply integrated with domestic suppliers like Zhongde for harmonic drives and planetary gears. They have driven the cost of the joint modules, the most expensive part of a robot, down to 1/5 of the price of imported equivalents. This is the Xiaomi playbook applied to robotics. They are commoditizing the actuators, the metal, and the plastic. They are betting that if they can flood the market with hardware, they can figure out the profit model later. But there is a catch. A cheap joint is not necessarily a durable joint. Reports from stress tests show that when the G1 is put into high-load scenarios, like the car-pulling mode marketed to the public, the knee joints can degrade to the point of failure in a single day. This isn't an industrial tool. Structurally, it is closer to a disposable consumer gadget. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the claim of 90% localization. This is a classic statistical sleight of hand. Unitree claims that nearly all the mechanical parts are made in China. That is true, but a robot without a brain is just a statue. For the high-performance models, specifically the EDU version that researchers actually want, the system is entirely dependent on the NVIDIA Jetson Orin module. This single component accounts for nearly 35% of the total cost of the intelligent system. More importantly, it represents a single point of failure in the supply chain. If U.S. export controls tighten further, that 90% localization figure becomes irrelevant because the 10% that is missing is the only part that matters. Furthermore, the sensors are a bottleneck. While they use domestic LiDAR, the high-precision 3D visual modules and the tactile sensors required for the dexterous hand are facing a 40% capacity shortage. The narrative of total autonomy is a mirage. They have built a beautiful Chinese body, but it is currently on life support from American silicon. The disconnect between the full autonomy marketing and the reality of the silicon dependency is the single biggest risk factor for their upcoming IPO. The most damning data point in the entire report is not the price. It is the MTBF, the mean time between failures. In the world of industrial automation, a KUKA or FANUC robot arm is expected to run for 10,000 hours without a hiccup. That is the industry standard. It is the table stakes for entering a factory floor. Unitree's industrial reliability? 500 hours. Let that sink in. That is 1/20th of the industrial requirement. We saw this reality manifest in the Nanjing exhibition, where an H1 robot began to convulse and fail due to sensor drift and algorithmic instability. The media calls the Spring Festival performance zero error, but that was a controlled environment, likely rehearsed for months, with engineers standing by. In the chaos of the real world, unstructured environments, dust, vibration, the current generation of these robots is simply not robust enough. This explains why, despite the hype, 65% of their sales are going to simple inspection tasks or logistics, not the complex interaction tasks shown in the videos. They are selling the dream of a humanoid butler, but delivering a remote-controlled camera on legs. So, why the gala? Why the viral videos? Why the aggressive push now? The answer lies in the financial calendar. Unitree is accelerating its push for an IPO on the Science and Technology Innovation Board, targeted for April 2026. This is a classic pre-IPO pump. They need to establish a valuation based on future potential, the embodied AI narrative, rather than current cash flow. By showcasing world-first stunts, they are trying to position themselves as a software company which commands a high revenue multiple rather than a hardware manufacturer which trades at a discount. They are caught in a dangerous pivot. In 2024, they were a hardware company focused on localization. Now, post-IPO, they promise to be an AI model company. But the bridge between those two is expensive. They are burning cash to subsidize the hardware, the G1 pricing strategy, to acquire users, hoping that the software ecosystem will catch up. It is the same strategy Uber used, but with much more complex physics and much higher capital expenditures. They are racing against time, trying to secure funding before the market realizes that the general-purpose robot is still a specialized research toy. Let's be real. Unitree has achieved something remarkable in manufacturing capability. Driving the cost of a humanoid robot down to $10,000 is a feat of supply chain engineering that deserves respect. But the gap between manufacturing capability and commercial viability is what we call the Valley of Death. The Spring Festival Gala was a peak moment for the brand, but the data suggests they are about to descend into that valley. They face a triple threat: reliability issues that disqualify them from serious industrial use, a supply chain that is still vulnerable to geopolitical shocks, and a business model that currently relies on selling hardware at zero margin. The next 12 months will determine if Unitree becomes the DJI of robotics, dominating the world through sheer scale and iteration, or if they become another hardware startup that couldn't survive the transition to software. The backflips are impressive. But in business, the only movement that matters is the movement of free cash flow. The robotics revolution is not coming. It is already here, but it is unevenly distributed and misunderstood by the mainstream press. If you want to understand the real unit economics and the hidden supply chain wars defining this sector, you are in the right place. Subscribe to master the world's fastest moving tech market before your competitors do.